Hello, everyone. My name is Jenna Hargett, and today I will be presenting on the topic of pig thermoregulation. In this presentation, I will dive into various factors that influence thermoregulation in pigs and also explore how those factors influence animal welfare, overall health, and productivity within the swine industry. This is important because by understanding how they regulate their temperature, producers can better manage their environments to better optimize the well-being and productivity of their animals. Just moving forward, before we start off, I just want to talk about my personal connection to this topic. So for those that don't know me personally, I do have a background in both showing and raising hogs. So attached to the right are several pictures of my pigs from back home. And as we dive into the topic of pig thermoregulation, I want to address a common misconception or myth about pigs and mud. So many people believe that they roll in dirt, mud, simply because they're dirty animals and they enjoy it. However, one of the primary reasons that they do this is because they lack sweat glands, which mean that they're not able to sweat to cool themselves down like us as humans or other livestock species. So therefore, the mud acts as the natural coolant, so helping them regulate their body temperature, especially during those hot, warm summer months. It also helps act as a barrier against parasites and also sunburn. I didn't include a picture of this in the presentation. However, it is common for lighter colored pigs to get a sunburn if exposed in the sun for too long. So, fun fact, we typically have to apply sunscreen on our pigs in like the white, lighter colored areas whenever we plan on working them outside for longer periods of time to counteract that. Um, this slide just provides an overview of my presentation to just guide our discussion in this process. We'll begin with an introduction to what thermoregulation is, and then just dive deeper into the exploration of its mechanisms, economic impacts, risks, and management strategies. All right, so what is thermoregulation? This is the process that animals use to keep their internal body temperature within a specific range, which is crucial for maintaining their normal bodily functions and overall their survival. So, like I said, they lack those functional sweat glands and are unable to sweat. Therefore, they rely on a combination of both physical and behavioral adaptations to regulate their body temperature. So understanding this is essential for not only promoting their welfare, but also for just increasing their productivity, which directly affects both the profitability of the producers in addition to the pork prices for consumers. Moving along, on this slide, we'll explore mechanisms that regulate heat in the body. The primary goal of thermoregulation is to balance the heat production and heat loss to the environment. So this balance is achieved through both physiological and behavioral mechanisms. Physiologically, the body adjusts blood flow to the extremities, triggers panting to help them cool off, and then also activates shivering in order to generate heat when necessary. And then behaviorally, they may seek shade or alter their activity levels, or like I said earlier, roll in mud to be able to help manage their temperature. Um, Anatomically, the skin and hair are key structures in regulating this exchange. Also, the fat layer or the subcutaneous fat serves as an insulating barrier to reduce heat loss, especially good during those winter months. And then blood vessels help regulate temperature by vasodilation, which helps release heat, and then vasoconstriction, whenever it constricts to conserve it. Together, all these mechanisms just help keep their internal temperature stable despite what's going on in the external environment. So here we're just going to talk about a few factors influencing thermoregulation. So first off, overcrowding, poor ventilation, both increase the likelihood of heat stress in pigs because that elevates the temperatures and humidity levels. It's important to say that as pig age and gain weight, their optimal temperature range decreases. So older finishing pigs that are greater than 110 pounds, sows, boars, they're all more prone to heat stress as compared to younger pigs. However, whenever it comes to challenges with cold environments, such as issues with inadequate bedding or exposure to drafts during the cold winter months, can lead to hypothermia, which is especially important to keep in mind whenever you talk about neonatal pigs because they're highly vulnerable when they're younger. So to the left, this diagram, I won't go into detail about it just for time constraints, but basically this is just showing factors associated with hypothermia mortality in newborn piglets and just shows that process of how it can be fatal in some cases. So moving along, I just wanted to talk about a little bit of the difference between heat stress and cold stress. So heat stress, like I said, impacts animal welfare. It also lowers feed intake, growth rates, and reproductive efficiency. It also increases the vulnerability that they have to diseases and therefore also causes some significant economic consequences. And then cold stress, on the other hand, hypothermia can lead to slow development as well, reduced survival rates, and then again, very concerning for piglets who are younger. So this just goes to show that management strategies are essential for supporting thermoregulation. And just talking about this image that's on the left, it shows the symptoms exhibited by pigs as their body temperature exceeds their thermoneutral zone, showing how they can go from normal and healthy to something that can unfortunately be life-threatening. So just moving forward, as discussed on the previous slide, it does have some huge economic consequences and largely impact the American swine industry. So in a recent report within, I want to say the last year, it was approximated that 900 million is lost annually due to issues with heat stress in swine. 450 of that from the grow to finish stage, and then another 450 million within the breeding herds. So because of this, it is very important to enact proper management strategies. And then that's where we're going to move this discussion to. This slide outlines 5 different management strategies that can be used to assist pigs just depending on their age, as well as the environmental conditions that they're experiencing. I just want to say that not all animals are the same, so they do need different, whether it's heat support or being cooled off just based off of their age. Some of them are more vulnerable to certain changes than others. So starting off with housing, so well-insulated barns, climate-controlled spaces help them protect them from extreme temperatures. Ventilation systems, especially important in the summer to reduce humidity, improve airflow. Again, summer months with the misting, shaded areas with the evaporative cooling, diet adjustments to help regulate and help during times of heat stress. And then for piglets, whenever they do tend to get cooler, heat lamps and flooring to prevent hypothermia. And like I said, you must adapt practices that meet the specific needs of the pigs, which do vary. So just wrapping this up, in summary, thermoregulation plays a critical role in enhancing animal welfare. So by managing their environmental conditions properly, we are able to ensure that they are comfortable and healthy. This also just supports the long-term sustainability of the livestock industry. By optimizing thermoregulation, we can reduce the costs associated with health problems and improve overall productivity and profit of the operation. So it's important to understand that they face unique physiological challenges, particularly because they are highly sensitive to environmental stressors, just extreme heat or extreme cold, which can we need to just monitor and adjust their environments accordingly. So there are those several management techniques that we went over. So temperature control, humidity regulation, and then also I want to talk about ongoing research. So as we learn more about pig thermoregulation, we're able to develop strategies that benefit both the producers and the consumers by enhancing the quality of meat and decreasing the cost of production if there's less cost associated with heat stress. So in conclusion, understanding pig thermoregulation is vital for ensuring healthy animals, a sustainable industry, and then improved outcomes for all involved. All right, so just moving on to the next slide. This is just some references that I used in my paper. I did have quite a few of them, so I did have to move this on to 2 different slides. So this is just continued. And then, alrighty, this is the end of the presentation. If y'all have any questions or anything, feel free to let me know. Alrighty, have a good day, everyone.